here's a rough idea what it would look like. You have your two subs powered, your tops powered. And I'm gonna try to label every single wire we have. So before we get started, your left speaker is always your master speaker. Your right, which is gonna be its clone, or the industry calls it the slave speaker. And with that being said, this is your unit that is doing all the work here. Like I said, I wrote master on here. So when you're connecting through your iPad or iOS or Android device, you know that you can only connect the left speaker, which is the master speaker, and your right one is just going to be the slave. I recommend you do not Bluetooth it, just because it's going to give you some complications with Bluetooth, thinking that your tablet or your iOS device is going to recognize both of them and not play music because there is two devices connected Bluetooth. So here we go. First and foremost, I'm gonna walk through the input section here. You have input 1, input 2, input 3, input 4, input 5 and 6, which is a stereo. And then input 7 and 8, which is designated for your Bluetooth music. With the setup that we have right now, we have two wireless mics into input 1 and 2. It doesn't really matter which way they go, as long as you know which is input 1 and 2 on the mixer. And then obviously you're gonna have power cables on both speakers. And then the important thing here, to make this stereo, you're gonna have a XLR cable going out of the mix out, and I label it here, mix out, and it is going to go to the second speaker in your input 5 and 6. It's gonna go into the right input. There it is right there. And honestly, that speaker, that's all it's gonna have connected is power and input 5 and 6 on the right channel. And that's it for the right side. Baby. Okay, so now let's go over the wireless receiver. Simple setup. Here, let me turn this around here. Like I said, it doesn't matter. It's a 2-channel receiver, which means it has 2 wireless mics. And we are going into input 1 and 2. And right here is what they're calling the group and the channel. So the group is the letter. I think it goes up to D or F. And the channel goes up to like 9, I believe. The only reason you need to know this, usually like if you are in a isolated situation, changing these should not be an issue. But if you're near like radio frequencies and that are gonna give you some noises, some interference, there is, you can change the channel here and try to find channels and groups that kind of work better. And so that being said, I'll show you on the mic how to change it. So here's your mic here, and here's the receiver here. So let me see if I can do this properly. Give me a second. So you're gonna have to unscrew the cap here, and right here is the group, and we're on C, and we're on 5. So C5 is channel 1 here. Now if we ever changed it, let's say we changed it to so the good thing about this receiver is when you change it, it's gonna like scan, it's gonna scan the room to see what's the best channel for you. So when you do that, it changes both of them. So right now we're on A3 and channel 2 is on A6. You have to make sure you change that on the mic itself. Because if not, it won't transmit. So right now it's still on C. We're gonna have to go to, oh, I missed it. Was that A? Oh, that's it here. There you go. So we're on A, and then now we're on channel 3. So now we're on channel 3, and that's how you set up the mics if we ever changed it. So that's one thing just to kind of watch out for, making sure that your mics are set up, and make sure that they are on the appropriate channel. So like this one's going to be on A3. Our second mic, we would need to configure it to A6, and they will work. All right, so next we're gonna go through the app and look at that. Okay, so now we're gonna connect everything to Bluetooth. So I recommend having the master speaker or column on only. So I would turn off the slave. So that way it's not recognizing it, and you don't connect it accidentally. So I just powered it on, and now this little button here, we're gonna kind of turn it on, and then you hold it so that we can pair it. So I would hold it for like 3 seconds, and then now let's go to our iOS device, our iPad, and let's see here. I'm trying to get a good video. Let's see, hopefully that works out. Okay, so we're going to go to General. We're going to go to Bluetooth here. And so this is the ID for it. It's the Evolve 30M C88E. If you see C88E with the number 2 on it, that means you are you have the wrong speaker on. That is the slave speaker. So we don't want to do that. Like I said earlier, if you have both of the Evolve speakers coming up and they're both connected to Bluetooth, Spotify has an issue of not knowing what to connect to, and it won't play music. So making sure that we only have the master on the Bluetooth. So let's get that connected. So we're connected here. And then at this time, we're gonna go to this app. It's called the Electro Voice EV app. We're gonna go there. Let's actually get out of it because it was previously open, so I can do it from scratch. So that's what's kind of gonna, so it's connected Bluetooth, so it's already loading and it's pulling up all the parameters that are saved on the mixer already. So it's pairing, it's paired, it came up. So I recommend you do the Bluetooth first before the app, because it's just gonna be easier, because what's gonna happen is it's gonna sync Bluetooth on the mixer, and then you're gonna have to go back to make sure the Bluetooth music is set up. So I would say go to settings, Bluetooth first, then the Evolve app. So now let's do a little walkthrough here. So now you have the main EQ section up. So if you can see, our left speaker has a little mixer highlighted in the speaker. So that means that your mixer is active and your speaker is active. So we're looking good there. This is just a simple EQ. Now you can change this depending on the room acoustics. If something's sounding too sharp, you know, you can bring the treble down. It's a very basic EQ section. You know, your highs, your mids, your lows, and then it also has a sub volume as well there. So pretty simple stuff here. And then to actually go into the mixer of all the channels, you hit this button, this edit mixer. You click on that, and now all 8 channels are gonna pop up. So you have channel 1, channel 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then your mains. I recommend that your mains are never muted unless it's an emergency, you're getting some kind of feedback and you need to shut the system down. That's a quick way to save our speakers and get that muted. But for the most part, we want that pretty much left alone. I will recommend your mains always having that at unity, which is 0 dB. That's gonna just set everything up correctly. And I'll show you something on the other speaker as well. So so you got channel 1, channel 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like I said, and everything's muted right now. So if you want to EQ a specific channel, you have to go to channel 1, and here's the EQ section for that particular channel. You know, we have compression, we have bass, mid, treble, we have reverb and chorus if we ever needed it. If we ever had a musician for one of these events, you can throw some reverb on there. But essentially, right now it's set to the level section, so we can bring that up and down. And that's kind of how you would do it if you're in the section. Or you can bring the level up and down this way once you have your EQ set up. These are EQ'd for microphones, so use your best judgment. You want to take down a lot of bass, quite a bit of mids for speaking mics and singing mics. But if these were instruments, they would obviously be EQ'd a little different. And that's kind of pretty much the gist of channels 1 through 4. 5 and 6 are a stereo channel. So this is, you would probably reserve this channel if you had a keyboard or something with a stereo output. So that's where you kind of do it. And then the Bluetooth, which has your little Bluetooth icon right there. It is a stereo channel as well, but that you cannot connect anything else other than Bluetooth. That is pretty much it for the EQ section. And the app section, it's pretty straightforward. And one thing I do want to make sure you have, just in case, So we have everything set up. So now we can fire the second speaker. And one thing you have to make sure is this input, because this is the only input we're using, 5 and 6. Click on it, make sure it's at 0 dB, because the main speaker, the mains are at 0 dB. So if this is like, you know, -10, you're not gonna have a balanced stereo output. So that would be the only thing I would watch out for. Make sure that your speakers are balanced and at the same volume, so that when you go up and down with the volumes, they are consistent within each other. Okay, so now we're all connected. Now we have an idea of the mixer. We have the second speaker connected. Now we're ready to rock and roll. So let's go back to the edit mix. Make sure we're all muted except for our mains. And let's go to Spotify. And on this iPad that's coming with the speakers, it's under my account. So I have some of the playlists that we are probably going to be using. I would say if you're at a venue, try to download the playlist ahead of time. And if you're in a situation where you need to look up a playlist, the only thing we would need to make sure we have is Wi-Fi access to do so. But outside of that, it's all Bluetooth. You shouldn't be needing Wi-Fi for anything other than music that we do not have downloaded on this device. We can click. Let's click this GAC pre-service playlist. If you're doing this for the men's event, I believe I have a men's event that has been put together by Pastor Henry. So let's play it. And one thing you would want to make sure that is on the Spotify app, it will tell you what device you're connected to. So just making sure Spotify is connected to that. So if you did the Bluetooth through settings first, it should automatically be connected. But like I said, if you connect it to the EV app first and then the Bluetooth, you gotta just make sure Bluetooth music is connected to the speakers. So it looks like we're all good. And then let's fire it up. We'll go back to the app. We know it's coming through because we have actually a green light. That's the reading. And let's start, and we can kind of pull up the music. There we go. So one thing that's going to dictate the volume, just like any Bluetooth, is the volume on the iPad. You gotta make sure that's up. I wouldn't go all the way up because you would probably get some peaking, but make sure it's at least 3/4 up so that you get a good solid volume. So outside of that, let's grab some mics. And let's see how to do those. Have the mic here. I got this guy on. Let's see, we might not have them connected correctly. I have not, since we've changed the channel. Let's see if it's reading here. So let's turn it on. So we're not getting any, there it goes. So, this mic right now is channel 2. because I'm getting some readings with that green light right now. So as a precaution, I always want to start with our volumes down, and then we can kind of bring them up. Check 1 2. That's coming through. That's coming through. Check 1 2 1 2. And that's how you connect the mic. And same thing goes for channel 1. In this case, since we, like I said, we changed the input channel on the actual receiver, I just got to switch it so that we can get transmission. And outside of that, we should be good. We should be able to host a nice service or an event. And this is how you set up the EV Evolve 30M